Hello everyone, this is James Francis and welcome to this week's live Prosperity Accelerator show. If you can hear me okay and see me okay, please go ahead and drop a comment saying, yes James, hello, and we can get started right away. I'm doing the video this week with a vertical format instead of the landscape format like this because last week it didn't show up in the group and also I wasn't able to see your comments, which is not great for an interactive live show. So if you can see me okay, please go ahead and let me know. And we can get started right away. Let's have a look. So, perfect, we've got people coming on and we've got others saying hello as well on other platforms as well. Awesome stuff, guys. So, in this session, I'm going to help you to overcome imposter syndrome. Okay, now this is something that a lot of people struggle with when they start an online business or they start some kind of online venture because it's brand new to them, and I was at this point as well. Don't forget, we all start from the same place. And, you feel like you're pretending, you feel like you're just not good enough. And how can you possibly compare yourself to other people doing a very similar thing to you who've been doing it for much longer? And you feel like a fraud, honestly. A lot of the time you feel like, how can, why would people listen to me over all of these other people out there, right? So let's go ahead and go to my office over here. In my house in San Diego. For those of you who are new to the group and new to the stream, welcome. This is my office. I've got all the Valentine's stuff there from the last few days from my wife, nice Valentine's cards and stuff. So basically, if you're not familiar with this group, we are helping entrepreneurs and anybody who wants to have a better life through an online business. So specifically, if you have some kind of advice to share, if you just have a passion in life or some kind of interest that you want to make profitable and generate some kind of side income or maybe a full-time income, maybe you want to quit your job, then this stuff is for you, right? I'm here to help you regardless of whether you're super advanced, our kind of level, or if you're just getting started from absolute zero, okay? That's the whole point of this group. We are here in a community to help each other out. And Ron here says, no experience, no clients, no marketing. Exactly. That is exactly the type of person, people like yourself, Ron, who we're helping. We're helping people who are complete beginners to make their first 10K online, make their first 100K online and beyond, and have that consistently come in every single month, not just a one-off fluke, and also making sure it's profitable when it comes to net profit as well. So you're not spending like $9,000 on ads to make $9,500, that's pointless. Minimum, you should be seeing at least a 2 times ROI. Minimum. We make a 12 times ROI, but for most people getting started, we'd like to make sure that they have a decent ROI. We're not just spending a bunch of money to make nothing back, right? So anyway, a little side tangent there just to set the scene. So let me know in the comments if you have struggled with imposter syndrome before. Say I, okay? Or me, yes, whatever, right? If you've struggled with imposter syndrome before, you feel like you're a fraud, you feel like you're pretending, you feel like, why would people listen to me over all of these other experts out there doing a much better job? And they're far more qualified, they have all this experience, and it's like, why should I even bother? And you get in your own head, and that causes procrastination. It causes you to, get paralyzed by analyzing things too much, and you kind of get in your own way of implementing the stuff you need to implement to see results, right? Let me know in the comments if that is you. Just say yes, just so I can get a show of hands here. Ron says used to, no longer, thank God. So Ron is a testament to this, that you don't always have to suffer through this forever. And I am also another testament, as with many of our clients as well. So essentially why I'm saying this is because we all go through this stage at some point in our journey. And I too went through this stage. And in this call, I want to be sharing with you the 3 main things that I did to overcome imposter syndrome. Now, another person that, encountered imposter syndrome and went through it was actually Einstein. There's actually a few quotes around various places saying that Einstein at multiple times in his life was questioning why his research was getting so much attention. Which is crazy. This is Einstein. This is like one of the smartest guys on the planet. And he was questioning whether he was good enough. Okay? So hopefully that makes you feel a bit better. If Einstein was kind of like not really familiar with, with everyone else's stuff and like, oh, why should I be interested? Why should people be interested in me? Then that's hopefully a testament to that. It's okay for you to be in that situation. So Matthew's asking to be on camera. This is not the type of show where we invite guests yet. That might be something we do in the future, but not right now. So I'm just going to get through the material and then help you guys out as much as possible, all right? So the whole point of this thing is to deliver maximum value to you guys and help you. And at the end, I'll offer an invitation to work with us if that's something you want. Of course, you don't need to stay to the end. It's totally up to you. But ultimately, you know, the people who get the best results in our community typically end up working with us and they get even better results, right? So let's begin. Now, the first of three things here is to realize that the imposter syndrome thing comes from doubt. Okay, so it comes from doubt in your own ability, your own self-worth, your own self-confidence, okay? Now, there are a few ways to overcome this doubt, and one of them is to really understand your topic very, very well. Now, you might think, well, James, duh, that's obvious. Well, surely it's that simple, just understand your topic. No, I'm gonna go a bit deeper into this and share my experiences of what happened to me, right? So, when I first got started, you know, I was not really knowledgeable about this online business stuff in general, like as a whole. The only thing I knew was how to build squeeze pages. And that was only because I'd taken a part-time web design class back in the day where you had to hand code HTML to create web pages. We didn't have anything like WordPress or Kajabi or ClickFunnels and stuff like that back in the day where you could, you know, point and click on the screen and it'd be done for you. You know, back in the day, I would have to hand code every single web page, which took me forever because I had zero clue how to do programming. And the only thing I knew how to do in an online business kind of world is to create those squeeze pages. So all I did was give away a squeeze page template. That built my list. So notice here, I'm not trying to do something that I didn't know how to do. Right? And then over time, I became more knowledgeable about the other areas in which I was weak. And then I became stronger and stronger in those other areas which I previously lacked information around, right? So typically, if you feel like an imposter, it's because you have a doubt of your own ability or knowledge. And the only way to fix that part of it is to become better. Watch a bunch of YouTube videos, join coaching programs, join courses, whatever it may be that you need to do to strengthen your own knowledge in your area of expertise, or at least the business area that you're going to be focusing on, right? Whatever your niche is, whether it's relationships, self-development, law of attraction, fitness, whatever you've chosen for your niche, or maybe you're considering to choose, you know, get really, really solid on those topic areas. The more you know about a topic, the less imposter syndrome you will feel. And even then, it will never go away. So don't worry, don't let it hold you back if you do feel like I'm not good enough or anything like that. Because even now, to this very day, I still feel like I'm not good enough. And here we are pulling in between 20 and 50K a month, and we're on track to do $1 million this year plus. So like even at this stage in our business, helping hundreds of clients around the world, you can see a little ticker on our website back there on my laptop screen we've got over $100 million right now of client results, which is ridiculous over the last 14 years. And even then, I still feel like we're not good enough, right? I still feel like I'm lacking in these areas. So try not to let that get in your way. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. Because, you know, number one, you need to overcome that doubt. And as I said, you know, the only way of doing that is really to get better and better at your topic, right? Now, that's thing number one of three. Now, the second thing you need here, which if I consult my notes here, just because I want to keep on track here, would be to separate your feelings from fact, okay? So separate your feelings from fact. Now, sometimes when you start a business, when you start this online venture to make some money online, you feel like very emotional about the whole thing. And typically with this type of thing, you cannot really be emotional. Otherwise, you'll end up making decisions that aren't the right decision to make. So to give you an example here, if you feel like you put your content out there, or let's say you create a product or program, and you're worried that other people will not get good results from that content or instructions that you give or advice that you give, right? And it's a very, very common thing, and that happens to all of us, and me included when I first got started. But over time, you do gain more confidence when you are validated by people's feedback. Okay, so people will give you good feedback, and yes, you will always have haters. You'll always have people who say that you're not good enough, or like, oh, this didn't help me. But most of the time they keep it to themselves, which is awesome for you and your ego, because it means that you don't see that stuff every single time that you look at your stuff. And I'd say probably 90% of the feedback you will get in any online business, even when you're a complete beginner, is positive. And you need to be aware of the positive feedback and focus on that rather than the people who are hating on your stuff, because you can always be better. You need to accept that as a fact of life. That's never going to be a stage in your business or your life where you feel like, right, I'm done now, I'm ready, I'm good enough now. You never feel good enough. And if you wait for that moment to happen, you'll never get started and stay in this endless loop of doom, okay? So you need to be aware that, like, most of the feedback that you'll get will be positive, but also you shouldn't really care what most negative people think, because those aren't your ideal people anyway. Do you think somebody who's negative about your content and negative enough to post a negative comment online on a YouTube channel, on a social media post or whatever it may be, is going to be the right type of person to work with you? And would you choose to work with that type of person? Probably not, right? I know I wouldn't, and I know that we don't. We specifically choose our ideal clients to work with because we want to create a positive atmosphere within our community, but also within our business and my life as a whole. I don't want to wake up and see this negative stuff being spread through our community. And that's something we're very protective of, and you can be that way as well. At the very early stages, you may feel like you have to work with everyone to get the best results possible. But that's not really the case. Sometimes your first few people that you speak with will have negative things to say, but it's not always going to be that case. That's not always going to be the case, right? And over time, you improve. I definitely, thinking back to when I first got started, I wouldn't be able to do videos like this. I had a stutter, I had a speech impediment, which was like I would slur my R's, so I couldn't say round robin, for example. It would be like wound wobbin, with a W, and I definitely couldn't be on camera, and I had all of these negative things that were in my back of my head from being bullied in school. So I was like, why would people listen to what I have to say? My camera quality is terrible compared to everyone else. And still, I ended up making my first $10,000 in my first few months after I got my crap together, right? After I finally got stuff together, finally got it done, got stuff online, launched it, made my first 10K. And after all of those years of procrastinating, right? Like-minded people who would be best, says Ron. Exactly, that's it. Like people who are kind of on the same wavelength as you, those are the best types of people to work with. And we like working with those types of people as well. So that's something to be aware of, that you don't always have to please everyone. And most of the time, the people that you know in real life are not going to even see your stuff online because they wouldn't be your target demographic. It's not like you put a commercial on the television and then everyone else is watching the television, and then your neighbors are going to call you and your friends and family are going to call you. Hey, James, I just saw your commercial on TV, right? That doesn't happen. We've never, ever had any of our family members see our stuff and said like, oh, that's your business, right? We've never had that happen at all. Apart from one time in the past, I set the targeting to friends of my page followers, or friends of my profile or something like that on my advertising, and then it was just completely, all of my family saw it, but that was my own mistake, right? If you are doing this stuff correctly, following our stuff or somebody else's proven methods, then you would never have people in your community see your stuff. And even then you can exclude your local area if that's something you want as well. So you never really get people in real life like, oh, that's you. And even then you should be proud of it. Like if you aren't proud of what you're doing to make a difference to your own life and your family's life, then you really need to kind of get a grip with why you're doing this stuff. You should be at a stage where you can show off your business. You should be proud of the fact you're doing something to help your own life and your family's life. Not just like, it's something I'm embarrassed about. And it can be a little embarrassing at first when you first start the business and people are asking you for your results. But the important thing to realize is that the results happen after you do the work, not before. So just tell people that, hey, I'm currently working on it, and I'll show you the results when they happen, right? And then some people will say, don't worry about it, that's not going to turn into anything. And that's what my dad said to me when I first got started. And I'm now making more in a month than he would in 2 years. So pretty crazy stuff. But don't let other people get you down, and even then, they're not your ideal clients anyway, so why bother, right? So hopefully that helps there. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and check my list here as well on other platforms. Cool stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Now, with that in mind, you also need to praise your accomplishments. Okay, so something which really helped me was to, I'm sweating here in this room, it's crazy. All this hot air coming out, right? And I'm in my office here in San Diego and it's just so hot. Anyway, you need to praise your accomplishments. So what can be pretty common to happen when you get started with any kind of online venture is like you put yourself down. You talk negatively about yourself, your achievements, and the things you do. So, for example, my website is terrible, you know, quote unquote, or why would somebody buy from me over everyone else? That's negative self-talk, right? That's like, I'm not good enough talk. And we don't want that. You want to be confident, or at least project confidence, because when you project it, when you pretend to be confident, then you will eventually become confident. You will eventually start to live that pretense, you know? So, you know, doubters from family can often tell you negative things as well, like this isn't going to work out, and that can just drill away at you all the time. But the important thing to realize is that you need to praise your accomplishments, because when you just have all this negative self-talk take over, no wonder you have a lack of self-confidence. No wonder you feel like you're an imposter, because it's like, well, that's what everyone else is saying. And you place a good emphasis on that when these people are not qualified to give you that kind of advice or to give you that kind of feedback. These people often don't have online businesses, right? If they did, they damn sure wouldn't be giving you that type of feedback, because they would know that it's real, that it's a legit thing. It's all it is helping people who have a problem with a solution. That's it, right? That's it. So over time, you realize that, and you realize who is important to listen to and who is not, you know, really valid in your life in terms of their feedback about something specific like your business. And this is something I learned very early on, because my family were never supportive, my friends were never supportive, and my spouse at the time as well wasn't very supportive either. And that changed over time when she started to see the results and stuff. But at the outset, it was like very rocky, and she was kind of not really that enthusiastic about what I was doing, right? But then over time, you start to get results, you start to see results, and then you can show them. You know, it's kind of like, well, I showed you by proving you wrong. And that's the way I look at things as well. It's like I try and prove people wrong all the time. That's the way that's what motivates me, and that's what gets me going. So if you think about that in that perspective as well, like you're proving people wrong, that will help you to overcome that feeling like you're an imposter, because you are not trying to reach their standard, if that makes sense. Like you have your own standard, and it's not like you have to be a super professional with an incredible website, incredible on camera. You're just this natural with the whole thing, because you're not going to be. You're trying to be something you don't have to be, right? So when you praise your accomplishments, you are rewarding yourself and your action, which gives you motivation, which encourages you to do more things. And then before you know it, you've done all of this stuff, and then you prove to yourself that you are not an imposter, right? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box, because that is super important stuff. And really, it's a matter of like self-reward, if that makes sense. Anyway, and one great thing that I love about our Inner Circle program, our coaching program, is the fact that we have this community of people who don't doubt you. We have this supportive, you know, atmosphere and positive community of people helping you out instead of putting you down all the time. And that's what I love about our community. So if it's okay with you guys, I'd like to go to a quick commercial break here, just for like 5 minutes or so, just to tell you a little bit more about how we could possibly help you to have a successful online business. Matthew says very rewarding. It is for sure when you get stuff done, you see results, when you see that first $1,000 come in, you see that first 5,000 come in, you see the first 10,000 come in, it's life-changing. And then you know that it's possible. And then you start doing more and more of it. And then it becomes consistent every single month. And I'd love to share that with you guys about how we can help you to do that. Is that cool? Cool. We got some responses here as well. All right, cool. And we've got a few other platforms coming in with comments on my notifications as well. Awesome. So, to begin with, you know, right now you may be just kind of doing things maybe by trial and error. Maybe you're, you know, looking at YouTube videos, maybe looking through your emails every day, looking for another shiny object, and you're just going back and forth between different things. You don't really have a proven plan that you're following. You're just kind of reacting to things, and you're not being proactive with your results, okay? So I'd like to change that. If you would like to have a proven plan for your own specific ideas with your own specific circumstances and situation, go ahead and comment prosperity below in the comments, all right? Prosperity. Go ahead and comment that below right now. One of the members of our team will reach out to you and have a quick 15-minute chat to see if we can help you. And if that's something that you want at that point, we can also schedule another call to discuss in more detail, the details about our program and how we can help you achieve that $10,000 in net profit from zero as fast as possible, typically within just a few weeks if you do the work, Go ahead and comment Prosperity. Matthew, you're already in the program, so that's all good. No need to comment that at all. But for the people who aren't in the program, in the inner circle, go ahead and comment Prosperity below. One of our team members will reach out to you and we'll be able to help you with that, all right? So otherwise, hopefully you've enjoyed this live stream. I definitely enjoyed teaching this stuff to you. Just to recap on those three main things, what are they? Go ahead, comment below, what are they? What are those things? Well, if you've forgotten already, I don't blame you. There's quite a lot I've gone through, right? But number one, it's to be aware that it really stems from doubt. The more that you know about your topic, the more that you learn over time, keeping in mind it doesn't need to happen at the outset. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to know one thing more than somebody else. The more you learn over time, the more confident you will be and the less you will feel like an imposter, all right? The second thing is that you need to, what was the second thing? I forgot the order that I taught them in. Where is it? So you need to separate feelings from fact. That was it. So separate your feelings from fact. And honestly, a lot of us are very emotional about our businesses and we put ourselves down way too much. And we kind of feel like, this is terrible. It's not good enough. And all this negative self-talk creeps in. If you get rid of those thoughts and just think, well, what if it is good enough? What if? Instead of what if this does not work? What if something negative happens? Think, what if something positive happens? Which is the more likely scenario if you're doing things in the right way, right? So what is the benefit of doing this? For example, creating a website. What if I get my first client, even though it doesn't look incredible, it's better than nothing. It doesn't need to be perfect. For the first few years of my business, I didn't really have a website at all. It was just a jumbled mess of different pages that were kind of glued together in some weird way. And I still managed to get to 10K a month with that. You don't need to have everything polished to start seeing results. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people think that you need to have everything perfected first before you can see results. In fact, the opposite is true. You should have the bare bones online first, and then you improve upon it over time as you get more and more results. Does that make sense? So with that in mind as well, the final thing we went through as well was, rewarding your accomplishments, whether it's, positive self-talk instead of negative self-talk, and catching yourself in the act. So like, oh, this isn't good enough. And then you'd be like, boom, I just said this thing, which is negative to me. And if I start believing this, it's going to have a negative impact on my business and my life. And that's not the type of person I want to be. Right? You need to make a choice. Do you want to be somebody who is always negative and pessimistic and horrible to be around? Or do you want to be somebody who is positive, optimistic, and really fun to be around? And also, which is a much more enjoyable experience as well. I'm sure it's not very enjoyable for you if you constantly talk down to yourself like, I'm not good enough, I'm lacking this area. Well, think about the things you do have, right? What are the positives? And reward those, whether it's, you set up your first, you create your first product, for example, in a weekend, which is possible when you do the stuff we teach. Reward yourself with a meal with a family, whether it's buy your favorite chocolate bar, whatever it might be, whatever makes you happy. Go to the beach with your family, reward yourself in some way. And that, those rewards of those accomplishments really help to diminish all of those negative thoughts and stop you feeling like you're not good enough or an imposter, if that makes sense. And once again, finally, we recapped with a little summary of that. And also, if you do want one of the members of our team to reach out to you and see how we can help you to accelerate your results to 10K plus per month online, go ahead and comment Prosperity below this video if you have not already. As you're not already in that program, go ahead and do so. And I look forward to helping you. We can have a quick 15-minute chat and see what you're doing right now, what your ideas are, see if that would work for you, and then take it from there if that's something you want to learn more about. All right. Otherwise, hopefully you've enjoyed this session. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.